Hey everybody, and welcome back to Storytime with JRP. And today we are continuing my book, Laurence Grey, Secret of the Lost Roanoke Colony. We are currently in Chapter 6. So if you're just joining us, make sure to go back to Chapter 1 so you don't miss any crucial details. So a brief recap of where we have gotten so far. The historian Laurence Grey and his son Jason discovered a creepy government website that has connections with the missing Roanoke colony. They don't know what it is, but they didn't have time to figure it out because the SWAT showed up, threw them in the back of the armored car, and they're on a way to a mysterious location. So we're going to continue right now to find out where they are headed in Chapter 6 titled The Escape. After several more hours in the armored car, Gray finally came to his senses. "You know what, son?" said Gray all of a sudden. Jay sighed, annoyed. "What now, Dad?" "Well, you know what? It's time to get out of here," exclaimed Gray. "What, do you think the SWAT will just leave it unlocked?" Let me say that again. "What, do you think the SWAT will just have left the door unlocked?" said the exasperated Jason. Lawrence felt in the dark for the car door and gave it a good kick. Sure enough, the door was unlocked. Of course, though, the armored car was still moving at, a Gray guessed, a good 70 miles an hour. It seems like they were in a desert area with no large cities or even a small town in sight. The time was 7 p.m., so it was late dusk, some landscapes features still visible, but in general, still pretty dark. Gray, now able to see Jason, turned to the ladder and raised his eyebrows. Jason laughed. Gray said, "Okay, son, remember what I told you about the tuck and roll?" "Yes," said Jason, "but that was for cars going about 40 miles an hour. I don't know if we can do it for this fast." Gray thought about it. "Well, seems like that's our only choice. I'll go first, and then you jump out no later than 2 seconds after me." Jason looked uncertain, fearful, but in the end, seemed like he would trust his dad's wisdom. Lawrence gripped Jason's hand, then let go and breathed, "Are you ready?" Jason nodded, and with that, Laurence Grey leapt out of the armored car and hit the ground hard, tumbling many times before stopping next to a tumbleweed. Gray was bruised, but in good shape and free. Jason, meanwhile, should have jumped by now. Gray turned to see the armored car drive away and eventually fade from view with Gray's son still in it. From just foolish thinking, Gray had lost his son. He couldn't go to the law. He is a fugitive. What would they do to his son? Jason had meant to jump out, really, but right after his dad, a big bump in the road shook the car and slammed the car doors shut. The doors weren't locked, but they shut so hard that they were jammed. Jason had no window to look out of, but he could imagine his dad on the desert floor, fading into the distance. They were now both alone. And that is it for Chapter 6. It is getting good now, guys. So now, Gray is free, but he's all alone, and his son is now kidnapped by the government. Does he go after his son? Does he go to the police? But they would probably arrest him because he's a fugitive. So what's going to happen? Well, you're going to have to wait until Chapter 7 coming out tomorrow. Tune in with us every day as we continue to go through this book, guys. All right, I'll see you then.